future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring on love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow,
Hello, good
the
evening.
promise, the future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world.
Miss Rat, I see you. Thanks for joining.
Let the dawn of a new
D.
day
Chihuahua.
bring understanding
Welcome.
and love. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for liking the live. I see you. I hope you're good. Collins, welcome to Insight. Nene Kano, I see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Help share the live, please. Help share the live to your friends, your followers. Let them be part of our marriage talk today. Thank you so much, Nusrat. God bless you. Fumi Ojayemi, thanks for joining. I hope our day has been good. Welcome, welcome. Please, if you click down on the screen, some names will pop up. You just press send, send, send to all of your friends to be part of this talk today. Thank you so much. Golden Lady B, how are you? IKC, welcome to Insight. I see you. Please help share this live. Phase 1, you are welcome. Thank you. I'm going to follow you back after this. I can see you, Yell. Thanks for joining. I see you. David, you're welcome. I see you. Joyce, I see you. Joyce Skincare UK, wow. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. It's our marriage talk day. Yes, and as you can see, I've brought another interesting topic for us to talk about. Awo, is it Awoya Freda? Awoya Freda, 36. Well, good evening to you. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. YNF, I see you. Please click down on your screen and names will pop up. Help send to all of those names on your screen. Let them be part of this talk today. quite an interesting one. If you're aspiring to get married, if you're in a marriage relationship, yes, this talk is for you. Awesome God you are. Thanks for joining. I see you. Fat for Missy. Thanks for joining. Yes, guys, please help share. Help share. The more the merrier. I mean, we're always here to learn from one another. And not just learn, because we relate whatever we learn to our real life situations. Yes, there's a lot going on out there. Trust me, I know, you know. John, I see you. Thanks for joining. I hope you're good today. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait few bits. Oh, guys. Yale, I see you. Can you click on your screen and you see names pop up? Just click on it for a second or two. And you see all these names pop up. Just click send to them. At least whoever is awake can still join us tonight. User 63788. I see you. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. Thank you, David. You're welcome. Yeah. This is Insight with FunmiRoyal. I come here every Mondays and Thursdays. And today is marriage talk. We talk about issues relating to marriage. You know, it's a safe space. We talk about these things. And after I give my talk, as usual, I bring us up to, you know, kind of dissect it some more, expand it some more. Jenny G, thank you so much for joining, sis. I hope you're good. How is your end? I hope it's not too cold. It's a bit rainy, cold, sunny, all of it together today. In fact, it's amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so on Thursdays, as I was saying, we talk about marriage, relationship situations, and today the topic is marriage and empathy. Marriage and empathy. You know, there's a lot of things that I feel, you know, kind of is fizzling out in marriages, and it's not good, because we're meant to be enjoying our marriages, not enduring it. But I mean, imagine if you're empathetic, and I am as well, in that relationship, life will be a better world for us, especially in that marriage relationship. So let's talk about these things. Let's, you know, kind of break it down some more. Empathy goes a long way. Empathy, it goes a long way, and it's not gender oriented, so to say. Don't come and tell me, oh, it's women that are supposed to be empathetic, not men. Men are masculine, men are all of that. No, no, no. As long as you're human, I mean, we have to show empathy to one another, not just even husband and wife. Oh, you're great. You were just passing by. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for passing by. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful night rest. Liz T, thanks for joining. I see you. Guys, help share this live to your friends. Click down on the screen and names will pop up. You know, just click send, send, send. At least there should be more than 20 names on there. You can send to as many as possible whilst I go into my talk. And then after the talk, I'll bring us up. We'll talk about it some more. We can share our experiences, you know. Whatever you think I've forgotten to mention, you can always add to it as well. And of course, I have my puzzle for today. This one is a comeback puzzle, because last week nobody got it. And I thought it was easy. So well, yeah, I think I brought it way probably April, May-ish, I think. So if you're the person that wants to take on that challenge, if you know the answer to my puzzle, you know you have to come up and you get the gift for today. That's how that works. So you have to wait for another hour or two. Well, 1 hour, I think. And then I'm going to share the puzzle. If you know the answer, please come up and tell us the answer, and you get the gift for today. Mizzy Gold, I see you. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Jenny, for sharing to your friends. Thank you so much. So I won't waste much time. I just go into the talk. And guys, like I always say here, it's a talk that kind of brings some sort of self-reflection. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But together we'll rub minds about such topics. And we can do better even in our relationship, and try, because sometimes it's hard, you know. Sometimes it's like, oh, this person, you love them so much, but sometimes they just do some things. You just have to be empathetic towards them, you know. And that's how. Oh, okay, let's see. No, I'm not sure I want to do that, but it's okay. Yeah, Adoa, I see you. Cute Adoa. Thanks for joining. I see you. So guys, welcome to Inside with FunmiRoyal today. Like I said, I hope our day has been good. Yes, tomorrow is Friday. Yes, I love my weekends. Yes. One more day and work, and then we can play a little a little bit. So thanks so much for joining. Please help share the live as I go into this talk today. Marriage and empathy. In fact, you'll be wondering, marriage and empathy. If you're planning to get married, if you're in a marriage relationship, if you're thinking about marriage, I think this is a talk for you to kind of broaden your mind, about what you should expect in your relationship and what you should also be willing to give in that relationship. You might even be in a relationship at the moment and you're not sure whether this person is empathetic and all of that. Sit down, let's talk about it. At least you have a clue of what to look out for and what you also want to take on board and show to whoever you're in that relationship with. So thank you so much for joining. You and I know that, the marriages occurring every now and then all over the world. Whether you're black, yellow, green, blue, marriages are taking place. Marriage is a partnership that strives on understanding, patience, emotional connection. So one of the most essential components of a successful and enduring marriage is empathy. Empathy. We're not talking about love here, we're talking about empathy. So sit with me and let's go on this ride called marriage and empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. So it's very, very crucial in building a strong and loving relationship. Like I said, being empathetic is not in showing love, so to say, because they're two different things. But these qualities are needed, to kind of help boost our marriage relationship. So without empathy, misunderstandings, conflicts, and emotional distance can grow. And this can weaken the foundation of any marriage or even any relationship. So in my talk today, we'll look at the importance of empathy in a marriage relationship, how to cultivate it, in case maybe your spouse is saying you're not even empathetic at all and all of that, those grammars. Sit down and let's talk about this. So we're going to talk about how to cultivate empathy and the impact it has on deepening connection and resolving conflicts. So empathy really is key in that relationship. It's one of the many keys, of the bedrock of any marriage relationship. Johnny Babes Treasure, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Please help share the live to your friends. Click down, names will pop up. Just click send to all of them. Let them be part of this. Thank you so much for liking the live. So let's understand empathy in marriage. What am I talking about? Jane, thank you so much. I see you. Empathy is just more than, just acknowledging what your spouse is feeling. It's about placing yourself in their shoes and feeling exactly what they feel. Always remember, every Thursday we always mention communication and communication, because if you don't communicate, how can you feel what your partner is feeling? So it's different from sympathy. Empathy, sympathy, they are different words, okay? So I'm going to break it down a little bit so we can understand. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Love. See, I see you. So it's different from sympathy, which is merely feeling bad for someone. Ify, you're welcome. When you're feeling bad for your spouse, it's not like that is sympathy. But when you feel what they're feeling, that is empathy. And then the way you react to such situation or your spouse will be different. So empathy requires deeper emotional investment, active listening, understanding, and responding in a way that shows you truly care about your spouse's experience. So you might be having a good day, a lovely, lovely day, and then your spouse is not having such a good day, and you can see that they're not their usual bubbly self, and you really want to understand what's happening with them. You don't just say what's happening and they're talking like, oh yeah, okay, oh sorry, it's fine, you'll be fine. No, they don't want your sympathy, they want your empathy. I hope this is not confusing us, but yeah, you can Google the meaning anyways and to have a better understanding. So You have to respond in a way that shows you care, not that you're sympathizing with what they're going through. You want to empathize, you want to understand what they're feeling, whether it's pain, joy, or whatever it is. You want to, connect on that level. So when we're talking about understanding empathy in marriage, you look at emotional connection. So empathy strengthens the emotional bond between spouses, and it kind of fosters deeper intimacy and understanding. Imagine your spouse is feeling something and they're trying to communicate it to you, to the point that maybe your spouse is crying, and before you know, you're teary along with them. Whether man or woman, now it doesn't matter, we're human. Please don't get me started on men don't cry and all of that. No, that's not what I'm here about. So it kind of deepens your connection emotionally when you can empathize with your spouse. And this, goes vice versa. Oh, thank you so much for the heart to me. Thank you, Ify. I really appreciate that. So again, mutual respect. It encourages respect for each other's perspective. Good evening to you. Even when they differ, no matter how in sync you are with your spouse, there are days that you just don't see eye to eye on certain issues, but that should not be the end of that relationship. So when you're empathizing, there's mutual respect in that. It encourages your partner to see or to know that you're seeing things from their perspective. You may not totally agree with it, but at least let there be mutual respect, because everyone in a way is entitled to their opinion. Let us disagree to agree, as they say. And again, support in times of difficulty. Empathy. Empathy allows couples to provide meaningful support during challenges, ensuring that they face hardships together rather than apart. So, as a couple, you might be facing challenges together as a couple, but sometimes because you're individuals in that relationship, you face some individual challenges, and this is where really empathy should come into play. Face that hardship together, face it individually, but supporting one another, such that you're not saying, oh, it's your problem, deal with it. That's not even sympathy. It's not empathy. It's not even love. It's not understanding. It's not all of those things. So what is that? So let's be mindful. We need to self-reflect. Am I empathetic enough towards my spouse? Or I'm just doing my thing, they should get over whatever and things like that? No, because we want that spouse to be happy. Even if we're not the reason for whatever they're feeling or going through, we should be there to support them, in that challenging time. Then again, the role of empathy in conflict resolution is very key. You'll be amazed. Conflicts, are inevitable in any relationship, including marriage. I've said it time and time here. I've been married for 25 and a half years. I don't think there's any book that can contain how many times we've offended one another, or how many times we've had conflicts in our relationship. 25 years, imagine. Where do I want to write that? Good evening. Okay, Bim, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Please help share to your friends. Let them be part of our talk today. So we cannot avoid conflict. It will come, but how we resolve it is the in thing, of that relationship. So any marriage relationship, in fact, any relationship at all, will go through conflict times. So the way a couple handles disagreement often determines the longevity and happiness of their union, and it goes a long way. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. And empathy plays a pivotal role in resolving conflicts effectively. So when you're empathetic towards your spouse, and they're also, returning such, there will be mutual understanding even in times of conflict. You might say whatever, and your spouse is not. Married for 7 years, before kids, my husband ran away because of my leg. Your leg? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Maybe when the time is right, I'll bring us up, we can share that. No, that's why I'm here, because there's so many things going on in marriage relationships. There's a lot going on. When we're all signing the marriage certificate, when we're saying I do, we're all hoping for the best life. But then 5, 10 years, 7 years, things are happening, and sometimes it's beyond us. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. Sometimes couples go separate ways, even when children are involved. There's a lot going on in marriage relationships, and I'm passionate about marriage. I know that God's intention for marriage is that husband and wife would live together in harmony with their children. But you and I know that the devil is not happy when homes are in harmony. The devil will bring all sorts, you know. Some people change overnight. You will be wondering, is this the person I married some years back? They're so different now. And sometimes you even try to reach out to say, I've noticed this, or what you're doing is hurting me. It's like they don't even care. And you'll be wondering, this is the person heads in love, heels in love with you, that they cannot sleep if they have not spoken to you. What has gone wrong? You know, and the truth most times is we shy away from acknowledging when we are wrong, and this can break any marriage relationship. It's not an easy thing. As I always say, marriage is not for boys and girls. It's not for lily-livered men and women. It's for mature man, woman, who are mentally, emotionally, financially, economically, all of those leads, they are ready, because it takes a lot. If you go into marriage, you're not prepared, you will run out of it. As fast as you run into it, you will run out of it. I'm telling you, you and I know stories. If we start telling stories today of this person breaking up, that person breaking up, even after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, I'm telling you, things are happening. So at least let's talk about things. My eyes have seen a lot. I can only imagine. I can only imagine if everybody were to start telling their stories. I mean, we will cry. We would, laugh in some, cry in some. But my dear sister, it is well with you. Or if it's a brother, it's a sister, thank you so much. It is well. It is well. Out of a marriage is not out of the world. I know it will be challenging, but if you find yourself in that, know that it's not the end of life. It's not the end of life. Before you married, whoever, you were living life. And if the marriage didn't work out, that everybody had to go their separate ways, I don't pray that for anyone, but know that it's not the end of you either. So let's keep hope alive. So again, when we're talking about empathy, the role it plays in marriage relationship, listening without judgment, thank you so much, Johnny babes, thank you. Empathy enables you to listen to your spouse without interrupting or immediately defending your point. And you find that over the years, this is what tends to happen, because you feel you know how they're reasoning, how they're thinking. Before they put a word in, I'm a sister. It's because my leg was amputated, he left me and my 4 children. Can you imagine? And yet to say for better, for worse, in sickness, in health. All those words, when we say them, do we really mean them? Does it sink deep into our core? Do we mean those words? Because life will throw challenges at us, and we're meant to, do this together. We're meant to do this together. When the times are good, that's not when your spouse should stay with you. When the times are tough, that's when you will know what your spouse is really made of. If they are the ones that will be there through thick and thin, and they'll be there to support you, they'll be there to encourage you. You know what, you may have lost your leg, but we can still live life and enjoy one another. But you see, tough times, they say it doesn't last. Tough people do last. They don't know, ma. So we cannot, in fact, even if you caught someone for 10 years, you can't know the totality of their heart. You just have to keep trusting and keep hope alive, so to say, because people change. People do change. Sometimes they don't want to believe that people change. Sometimes not for the better. They change for the worse. And you'll be wondering in your mind, is this same person? What has happened? But it is what it is. Like I said, it shouldn't be the end of us. We'll listen to our spouse to show empathy without judging. Listen. Don't start like, okay, you know where they're going, and you start your own as well. They will look at you like you're not empathetic towards what they're saying. And it's like you can't wait to put one in. Gold, thanks for joining. Matilo, I see you. So it helps to de-escalate arguments and create a safe space for both partners to express themselves. When you have empathy, you really have it, and your spouse really, they have it as well. You'll be slow to speak, as they say. Slow to speak, quick to hear. It's not that before they land, you have landed 10 times. all the time, they'll be wondering, why are you so harsh? And then sometimes some people don't even know they do this in a relationship, but it does happen. Again, understanding each other's feelings, this is very important. Imagine you have one person, this is your personal person, come rain come shine, this person is your person. In fact, if everybody deserts you, this person will be there, is not going anywhere. So you have to understand each other in order to make that relationship bond some more. So when you approach a conflict empathetically, you focus on understanding your spouse's feelings rather than just focusing on being right. You just want to be right. What your spouse is saying, da 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 da. But they're talking from them. They're saying what they feel at that time. Don't push aside their feelings and bring forth your own arguments or your own points and all of that. Feel them. Let them say what they have to say. Try to understand. Try to wear their shoes, like I said earlier. Ruthie, I see you. So this shifts the dynamic from confrontation to resolution. So rather than appearing confrontational, you will appear like, okay, this person is trying to find ways to help because they truly understand where I'm coming from. And you give each other that support, that respect, that understanding. And you find out that in no time, even if the conflict has been going on for so long, the moment you decide, okay, I just want to let go of my whatever, let me understand where this person is coming from. You to say, okay, I just want to let go. Let me understand where this person is coming from. And then you're speaking the same language. And of course, the conflict will be resolved eventually. It might take a while, but as long as you're determined, like I'm just going to be empathetic towards my spouse, and they are determined as well. Of course, it's in sync and things will get better. And again, when you're talking about empathy in relationship in terms of what I'm looking at, Onoye, thanks for joining. It brings healing as well. So after an argument, empathy helps us in healing process by acknowledging the hurt and working together to rebuild and reconnect. So when you decide to be empathetic towards your spouse, you're feeling their hurt, you're feeling their pain, and you're there to support them. You're there to nurture them. You're there to pray with them. You're there to give them words of encouragement. Of course, they will heal faster because these words are coming from you, their loved one, their personal person. It will carry weight and it goes straight to the heart. It heals faster. So empathy in a marriage relationship can bring healing to whatever hurting situation you may find yourself. So how do we cultivate empathy in a marriage? Yeah, some people, they don't even know what that is. Is it required in a marriage? They don't know. So that's why we're here to talk about it. So if you don't have empathy, how can you cultivate empathy in that relationship, in that marriage relationship? Empathy doesn't always come naturally to some people, and that's just the truth, especially in the heat of the moment. They would have said 1,000,001 things to destroy everything, even altogether, before they'll come back to this. So it's not a natural thing with them. Maybe it's the way they are made up or whatever it is. Some people are readily, in fact, before you finish your story, they're so there with you. They feel your pain already. But some people, they don't get it. The first time they don't get it, maybe until the third, fourth time before they actually get it. So it doesn't readily come natural to them. However, like I said, it can be cultivated through intentional practices. You have to be intentional about it. You care for your spouse so much, you can't stand seeing them being hurt. So how can you at least share that burden with them? Be there with them. Active listening. Guys, I'm underlining active. I'm not just saying listen. Active listening, meaning you are listening to the hurt. You are listening to the pain. You are listening to whatever they're bringing on. So this involves not just hearing your spouse's words, but also paying attention, deep attention to their body language, their tone, their emotion. Imagine they're talking and say, I'm okay, and they're cleaning tears. It's more. You know, it's more, they just say, I'm okay, I'm okay, and they're cleaning tears. This thing is deep. You are better pay close attention to them. Okay, avoid distractions and focus on truly understanding what they are trying to communicate. Some spouse might be laying their heart, pouring out their heart to their spouse, and you see their spouse on the mobile phone talking to somebody else. Their spouse is talking something that is really hurting them, or something is just distracting, or they're listening at first and then they just go off and be doing stuff, like, keep talking, I'm listening. Oh my goodness, that feeling. If it was me, I'll just even stop talking altogether, you know. So you have to be there for them. You have to be there actively listening, such that they know, you know, they have your whole attention. Again, put yourself in their shoes. I cannot overemphasize this. They say it's the person that wears the shoe that knows where it's hurting and it's pinching. But I tell you, if you can wear your spouse's shoes, you will know, you will feel where it's pinching or where it's hurting them as well. Put yourself in their shoe. Consider how your spouse might be feeling in any given situation. And this is why two has become one. Share things together, you know, the pain, the hurt, the good times, the joyful times, the happy times, all of that. Ask yourself, how would you want to be treated or spoken to if the role were to be reversed? So imagine it's you now trying to share with your spouse and they're distracted, they're doing, how would you feel in that kind of a situation? So if you know that you will not like it, then you have to pay attention as well when your spouse is speaking. It's very crucial, it's very important. Try to understand from their point of view, from their perspective as well, so you can help them go through whatever they're going through. Empathy, it goes a long way. And again, validates their emotion. So you don't have to agree with your spouse, like I said, concerning everything they're saying, concerning their perspective about even their feelings or whatever. But you will not use words like get over it. Like, get over it? Is that empathetic? It's not even sympathetic as well. So acknowledge their emotions, because there's one going through that emotions, how real it is to them and how important it is to them. Thank you so much, Gold, for liking the live. Amani, I see you. Bistra, thanks for joining. Simple phrase like, I can see that you're upset and I understand why. You know, it can make a world of difference. Even if you don't understand, try. Even try. Try to say you know you understand, and really truly try to understand. Phrases like that will go a long way, rather than you say get over it. Get over it? That means you don't understand what I'm going through. If you don't have the right words, I think silence might just even be, or a hug. Just hug if you don't know what to say, rather than say the wrong thing and they're feeling that pain. You're even adding more to the pain by your responses and things. Oh, please, let's stop that. Again, practice compassion. Good vibes, I see you. Be patient and kind. Empathy is patient. Empathy is kind. Even when you don't fully understand or agree with your spouse's point of view, at least give them that space, give them that respect, hear them out. Compassion softens interaction and opens the door to empathetic responses. So when you're a compassionate person, it goes along with being empathetic. So compassion will help you to try to feel what they're feeling. Compassion would help you to try understand, will help you to be patient. Compassion will help you to be kind, you know, towards your spouse. And this really would go a long way, you know, in making the situation better. So, empathy and love languages. I'm going to go there. CA, Kobe, I see you. Thanks for joining. Empathy and love languages. Eddie, you're welcome. So, understanding and expressing love in your spouse's preferred language is a powerful form of empathy. And I don't know who said that some time ago here. Your spouse likes something. You like something for your spouse. And then you're not doing what they like, you're doing what you like for them. Yeah, they may appreciate and thank you and all of that, but after a while, they'll just feel like this person is not even with me. Like, he's always doing what he thinks I like, but he's not doing what I said I like. So there are languages you need to understand. In as much as you love to give her chocolate, but she like flowers. Get her the flowers, please. Or bring the flower and the chocolate together. So you've done something you like and you've done something she likes. You're speaking the same language. Imagine that person or that spouse. Oh my goodness. Butterfly will never stop running through their bellies, so to say. So Gary Chapman's 5 love languages, if you're out there, you can look for that. Words of affirmation to your spouse, it shows empathy. Act of service, what you do. Then receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Highlight how people prefer to give and receive. Love, empathy, and all of those things. So are you speaking the same language with your spouse? Does your spouse like A but you like B? At the end of the day, you're speaking A and B and everybody's happy. Not just A, it has to be A all the time. B will just walk away if care is not taken. So it has love languages. Get to know your spouse's love language. Get to know what your spouse like. You also relate to them what you like. Put it two together. I mean, the more the merrier. And then you have a happy home. You have a home you can enjoy, not endure. Jackie, I see you. Nathan, I see you. Thanks for joining. Again, tailoring empathy to your love language. So empathy in marriage means not only understanding how your partner feels, but also knowing how best they feel loved and appreciated. Just basically what I've just said not long ago. How they feel loved and appreciated, not what you think they should feel, how you feel they should be appreciated. We're not ruling it out altogether, but try to understand their language, their love language. It shows that you are empathetic. It shows that you're in there with them as well. So if your partner values quality time, making time to be fully present with them shows empathy. Your spouse loves quality time. That's the time you want to go out with your friends. You neglect her. Well, okay, she's quite understanding. And the next time again, and the next time, one day she'll say, come to think of it, are you in a relationship with this your friends or myself? When do we get to go out? Just give me this time. But should it even get to that level where you'll be like kind of demanding for attention and time? It could be the man, it could be the woman, whichever way. So that means empathy is kind of missing in that relationship. So we need to bring empathy in so that your spouse comes first. That is what I know. That is what should be. Your spouse comes first, not friends, not extended whatever. So who best to show that empathy to? Your spouse, your wife, your husband. So if your wife or husband likes spending quality time, make sure you provide that for them as well, and they'll be satisfied, they'll be fulfilled, they'll be happy with you. So if they value words of affirmation or a heartfelt I love you at the right moment, can be a game changer. Some people, when they're so upset with their spouse, the moment they hear I love you like this, oh my God, what is upset? What is anger? It just vanishes away. And then you know that this does the trick with your spouse. And then you're now withholding that I love you to saying it just because of what? I don't understand. So let's be empathetic towards one another, especially knowing each other's language, what one feels comfortable with. That some people who are sharing, some people know that I know I've offended this person, or what can I do? Let me just go, stop on my way home, buy chocolate, buy flour. I don't know why I keep saying that. Maybe most people prefer that, I don't know. And then they go home. The moment you enter, your spouse sees you've entered, and they go the other way, say, I've got something for you. And they turn to see the chocolate and the flour. Haba, please tell me. Even if they're still upset and they take it off you, I'm still upset with you, but they're still going to eat the chocolate and they're going to sniff the flour or whatever. It will go a long way to say, oh, for this person to go all out to doing this, that means, they maybe understand what I'm going through and they want to make me feel better. So empathy really is key. It goes a long way. So, however, there's some challenges that empathy will face in a marriage. Elizabeth, I see you. Beauty goddess, you're welcome. So while empathy is very crucial, it's not always easy to practice. And that's why I said some people, it readily doesn't come to them. So several factors can make it difficult for couples to emphasize, to empathize with each other. Many things can be a barrier to that. So that's why we're here doing this talk today. In case you don't know, we will know. I'll mention a few. There's so many. And if you know some, please come tell us when I bring us into the boxes. Let's share more. Because like I said, because of time, I can't go through all, but I just speak one or two, three, four here and there. So stress and external pressure. When stress reaches stress level, they will throw empathy out of the window. But should that be so? Beauty, I see Augusta, you're welcome. External pressure, pressures of life. So when life becomes overwhelming, whether due to work, finances, or other responsibilities, empathy can take a backseat. I'm telling you. You will not even know that empathy has gone longest time. So it's important to recognize when stress is affecting your relationship and to prioritize connection. Oh, thank you so much for the heart me. Thank you so much. Joe Novak, I see you. Stress can kind of push empathy out the window. But this one, like I said earlier, it has to be deliberate. You know that you're stressed, you're shouting at each other, you're slamming doors and all of that. At some point, you might just have to sit down and prioritize, okay, where do we go from here? Because this is not helping this conflict or this situation at all. You still have to empathize. We still come back there and try to understand each other, because both of you are hurting and it's both of you that will make each other feel better. So the earlier you can get at it, the better for both of you. Again, another challenge to empathy in marriage is emotional baggage. Hey, don't get me started. Emotional baggage, past hurts, whether from childhood or previous relationship, can cloud your ability to empathize with your spouse. You might feel, oh, they've done this one thing 10 years ago, your ex did and this and that, and you start reacting to them like they were your ex. Give them a breathing space. Don't let that trigger you and you start reacting in a way that you're not even showing empathy. Everybody's got luggages from past relationships. But when you bring it into this one, know that that baggage is not for this person you're with. So don't dump anything on them. So walking through emotional baggage, either individually or together in counseling, can open up space for more empathy. When you now go there, we always say it's a safe space. You can share whatever. It's safe in the space. And then your spouse is able to open up and say all that is, they've been keeping in, or they've been trying to say to you, you're not understanding. But now you have to be quiet. You have to listen actively. And there's somebody there, a counselor, to help both of you. And sometimes I remember, I think I watched one film has to do with counseling. Say, before you start any statement here in this space, you have to say, I feel. Don't shout, what are you talking about? Don't say that. No, you will start with I feel. Some may say I think, or whatever it is, so such that you don't go at that tangent, at that argument level again, at that conflict level again. Because even when you say that, you will be empathetic, because you want to say that from what they have said truly, not that you're trying to shut them down, And by the time you say what you have to say, they say what they have to say, you find out that, oh, I never saw it that way. Oh, I didn't even know this was what you were trying, So when we put in the effort, we will see the result, basically, So if you have to see a counselor to help you through that, why not? Don't be shy. When you seek help, there's nothing to be shy about. We all want to live a better life. Daughter of Grace, I see you. And again, another challenge is self-centeredness. Hey, this one, don't get me started. Focusing too much on your own needs or your perspective can make everything so difficult to see from your partner's point of views, because you always feel you're right. Mr. Right, Mrs. Right. You feel you're right, then you will not have empathy to listen to your spouse. You will not understand what they're trying to say. Thank you so much, Daughter of Grace. Thank you for the ACME. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you so much. So a conscious effort to think about your spouse's feelings goes a long way. What they might need is, what you need is to understand. Put in the conscious effort, try to understand, because nobody will just sit down and be raging for no reason. Maybe they've tried to talk calmly, you're not listening. Now they're shouting, and you're like, look at you, just shouting, why? But because you're not listening, they've talked calmly, you're not listening, you're not hearing them, you're not even understanding. And now they feel they need to raise their voice, maybe that would work. And then you're like even shouting more on at them and things like that. That's not going to work. We cannot afford to be self-centered when we're dealing with our spouses. You have to be selfless where your spouse is concerned. You can't always have your way. We can't always have our way. We have to see from their point of views, even when we don't agree with it. That's why communication is key. Try to see what they're trying to say, and let them see what you're also trying to say. At a certain point, you will get to that middle ground, and then life goes on from there. But if you're not putting in the effort, you just feel you're always right, you don't want to hear it, it's not going to help that relationship. So it's very key to feel your spouse's feeling if you want to keep maintaining empathy in your marriage relationship. So I'm moving on swiftly. I'm mindful of the time. The impact of empathy on marriage. It does have impact. So when empathy is consistently practiced in a marriage, the relationship becomes more harmonious, more resilient, and more fulfilling. So empathy leads to deeper connection. Couples who practice empathy tend to be more emotionally connected because they feel. Have you ever experienced this? For those who have been married for some time, maybe you and your spouse, you're far apart, and all of a sudden you feel something, and then you feel the urge to call your spouse, and then you call your spouse and probably they're crying, and you just feel like you felt something. Imagine how in sync is that. Deeper connection, empathy, that's what it brings, because over time you're so empathetic, over time you're so like into this person, you can sense something is wrong with them. Yes, that's how powerful empathy can be. So it makes you connect emotionally deeper with your spouse, and they understand each other on a deeper level, and this kind of strengthens the bond. Again, another impact it would have when practiced, empathy when practiced in a marriage relationship, increase trust. Rash, I see you. So when partners feel understood and valued both ways, trust naturally would grow, because you can trust them that if I share this thing now, it may sound stupid to outsiders, but my spouse really gets me. He understands, and likewise you do that for them. It kind of builds your trust. You can share whatever you're feeling, no matter how stupid you think it sounds, you can share with your spouse because you know they are very empathetic towards you. Again, longevity of the relationship, that's another impact. So empathy helps couples to navigate the ups and downs of their marriage. With empathy, couples are more likely to weather the storm of life together, leading a lasting and happy relationship. You know that whatever you're going through, my dear, we're going through it together. Whatever I am going through, we're going through it together. Not that sort yourself, deal with it or whatever. You can't say that, even if it's not directly impacting you, but it is, because it's impacting or affecting your spouse, so that should indirectly impact you in a way, so you have to be concerned. So that can help to elongate your relationship when you can build a trust, because you trust your spouse to be empathetic towards you. I hope I'm not even going to bite myself with this word. I've said it probably 1,000 times today now, who knows. So in my conclusion, because I know there's still many aspects of it we can cover, but I really want to hear from you lot. I want to hear what's your take about this. Do you think we need empathy in our relationship, or we'll be fine, love is enough and all of that? So in summary of what I've been trying to say, empathy is the glue that holds a marriage together. It fosters understanding, deepest connections, and helps resolve conflicts, because you understand each other, you're able to, be there for one another, feel what each other is feeling. So by practicing empathy through active listening, I keep saying active listening, not just listening, active listening, validating emotions, and putting yourself in your spouse's shoes, you will strengthen your marriage and build a foundation of trust and love that can last a lifetime. I'm telling you, empathy is not just about responding to your spouse's words, but about understanding their heart, where they're coming from, what's happening with them, for them. A marriage built on empathy is one that thrives through the highs and the lows, and one where both partners feel seen. They feel heard, and they feel cherished. That can only increase the connectivity, the bond, the emotional connection, and all of that. So, giving this talk, my goal really is to encourage couples out there, especially the married ones, to recognize the importance of empathy in a marriage relationship. By cultivating empathy, we can improve our communication, we can resolve conflicts more effectively, and we can even build deeper connection. I'm telling you, empathy goes a long way, so don't overlook it. Don't pass it by. Don't say, oh, it's not. We've been married for 100 years. Do we still? You should know that, you know? No, we need to keep at it. We have to keep at it. So hopefully, I hope I've been able to leave us with some practical tools and a renewed commitment to practicing empathy in our relationships, thereby fostering a more harmonious and a fulfilling marriage relationship. So, having given this talk, I just have two questions we can start off with because I've been thinking about it. Can there be too much empathy in a marriage relationship? Can there be too much empathy in a marriage relationship? And what can you do when you feel taken advantage of for being empathetic? Because some couples are so like, they are, an epitome of empathy, and maybe they feel their spouse is taking advantage of them. So what can be done, or should they do anything about it? So I don't know what your take is on. I'm going to be bringing us up. Guys, I really want to hear from us today so we can learn some more. Please send an invite, and let's talk about marriage and empathy. Josephine, I see you. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, let's talk about marriage and empathy. I'm going to be bringing my puzzle shortly. So, you can send in your invite. Let's see who is there already. Send an invite. Let's talk about this. Do you think empathy is even needed in a relationship, in a marriage relationship? Is it necessary? Or is it that, love is enough, isn't it? As long as I love my spouse, that should be it. That should be it, really. I don't know what your take is on this, but please let us talk about this. Let's help one another some more so we can keep enjoying our relationship. Onoye, I see you. Eddies, I see you as well. Send an invite. Let's talk about this. Gold, I see you. Maybe you're where you cannot speak. At least I know I've covered quite a bit of this topic, but there's still so many aspects to it that maybe did not readily come to me when I was preparing for this. So that's why I'd love to hear from you. What is your take on it? Can there be too much empathy in a marriage relationship? And what can you do when you feel you're being taken advantage of by being too empathetic, or by being empathetic towards your spouse? Because like I say, some people, it doesn't readily come to them. Some people, they won't even get it until you have to say it over and over and over again. It's like, I'm talking to you, you're not even understanding me. What is happening? Is somebody, some some people get so emotional, they start even saying some wrong things like, you're not even hearing me, maybe you're hearing somebody else outside, this and that, and then expanding the thing. I want a peaceful home. I bet everybody wants a peaceful home. So we have to be deliberate in our actions. We have to be deliberate in our listening. We have to be deliberate in our responses, such that our spouse will know that we're there for them. We understand. We feel their
Good
pain.
evening.
Good evening, Augusta. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you. You're welcome to Inside. How's your day?
Not bad. And yours?
Tiring? In fact, if I finish this live, I think I'm going straight to bed. But
Okay. I
it's
just put the children to bed now.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you can speak. I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've gone past that phase, I believe. But then,
Nice.
thank you so much for joining. So I don't know how much of the talk you heard, which angle you want to come in. Please feel free to share with us.
Not so much because I was with the
Okay.
kids.
Okay. But can you see the topic on the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Marriage and empathy. I don't know, or maybe I'll give you a few minutes to gather your thoughts. I can come to
Okay.
you. Gold, I'll come to you. Gold, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm fine. We bless God. How's your day been?
Oh, it was all right. Thank you. I can't complain.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah. We thank God for life. Anyway, that's the most important thing.
Yes, very important.
Thank you for all the tappings and sharing. I really appreciate that. So I don't know what angle you want to bring to this topic today. At least this is the only way I know whatever I've been saying actually makes sense or not or something. I'm telling you, because sometimes you just rant on and on. Sometimes when I'm writing, I'll like, no. Should I put this? Should I not put that? Okay, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you, Gold.
Okay. Empathy is very, very important in a marriage or relationship because if there's no empathy, it's not even gonna work. Imagine one person crying just like you said, and you are invalidating the other person's feelings by not acknowledging.
What they're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. So empathy is very important in every relationship, coming from both male and female. And one thing I've learned over time is what my husband cannot say to me, I shouldn't say it to him.
Oh yes. Ah, that's key.
Yeah. So because he treats me so much with respect, I should accord him the same respect. Even though my husband is the kind of person that even if you say some things to him, not because you meant it, or like when Yoruba people say your moroso, you
Yeah.
just say it. Normally, what will make some men be offended, my husband will not even process it as anything that will make him feel bad. I'll give you a typical scenario. There was a time he was watching the TV and it was so loud. I stepped out to the dining room. So I was there taking a call. He now came back in. He was like, why are you here? I'm not like, you that turned the TV off as if you are deaf.
Oh,
Why, why will I not leave? So he now said, he's sorry, and asked me to come back to the TV room. But immediately he did that, and now I was not like, why did I even say as if he was deaf? Because I know he would never use such word on me no matter what. So I had to go back to him immediately. I was like, I'm sorry for what I said earlier. And he was like, what did you say?
oh wow. He didn't even.
And I said you raised the TV up as if you were deaf. And it was not like, in this ear, out the other. That he didn't even process it.
That's a
he,
good
did,
one.
he didn't even process it the way I'm processing it. And I said, well, I processed it and I knew what I said was wrong. That is why I'm apologizing to him. And I said, no, you don't have to apologize. That is fine. That, I should just let it be. But I had to apologize, knowing fully well if he has said that to me, I will feel bad.
Not
And for the
finding
fact that I knew that he would never use such word on me made me felt more bad. That, he won't do this to you, so why are you doing it to him?
Yeah.
So that has always been my guide. Whatever I know my husband would not do to me, I would never do it to him. And if I slip off and I do it, I immediately call myself back to apologize. Because you might think, he's the type that doesn't get angry. One day, the tiniest thing will trip him off.
Oh my God.
And you'll be like, you've never been angry since we are together. So what now happened? Nothing happened. The only thing that happened is you kept doing the same thing repeatedly without even realizing that at some point he will feel hurt, or he will start processing it that, is this person taking me for a fool? Is it because I don't react? Is that why this person keeps using words like this or saying things like this to me?
Yeah.
So both parties just have to be intentional to not invalidate anyone's feelings. Nothing is too like, oh, is it because of this little thing I said that you are angry? Nothing is too little, because we process things differently and our emotions are different. What will make me angry will make someone laugh over it. Me, I'm very particular with words. I'm not the kind of person that I will have a friend will be playing with me, I'll say, Onira no lo, she kilo worry. I don't take such jokes. But some people who take such joke, they will laugh over it. When that one say Oloshi, this one will say another bad word and they will be laughing. That is not who I am. I don't take insult through jokes. So that's the kind of person I am. So imagine having a friend or being with a partner who knows that you don't take insult through jokes and is constantly throwing such banters at you, knowing fully well that it hurts your emotions. So in all, it boils down to the two parties, just like you said. You need to know each other very well, like A and B. Like when you say, what's your love language? You need to marry the both love language together. Like my husband love language is act of service. My husband love food. He loves good food. So I make sure I cook for him. To the extent he will tell his mom that I'm the best cook in the whole world. I'm like, the mom that trained you all your life did not know how to cook, Abby.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much, Big Sugar. Thank you so much. You're at work. Oh, I like your personality and program. Oh, thank you so much. Really, I really love to hear. But if you can't come up to speak, you can type in there, what's your take about marriage and empathy? And I can read it out. I may not be able to explain it the way you would, but I can try. So thank you so much for joining. Sorry, Gold, I had to just respond to him.
Yeah, that's fine. So both parties just have to understand themselves and try to be empathic towards each other. I know there was a scenario that happened between me and my husband. Let me bring this one. My husband work colleague, they like him a lot, even though they are of different race. He has this aura that people always come around him. So my husband works night, and during the day, I've worked night before. No matter how you sleep, you are always tired. So when it's Saturday, Sunday, I don't stress him. All I do, we cook, go to church. I cook, we have dinner, go to church, then spend time together. So I needed to get something from the city center. I don't drive. He drives me around, or my mother-in-law drives me around. For the fact that he was home, I now said, can you take me to go and pick something? And he now said, oh, I'm very tired. I said, okay, that's fine. You are working for two, so I understand. You need your rest. A colleague of his now called him that he wants him to pick up. It wasn't even a weekend. My husband will be going to work that same night, so I needed him to help me pick up something. When he gave me that excuse that he can't, I know he's also going to work. That's okay, that's fine. Then a colleague of his now called him that, can you come and pick up something and help me take it to work? I'm not going to work.
Oh, wow.
My husband now said, okay, I'm coming. The minute he said that, I just looked at him, shook my head, and started crying. I was that pained because if I verbalize my words, I might say the wrong thing.
Yeah, wow.
So I just started crying. Immediately he saw me crying, he ended the call. When he said, what is the issue? I said, nothing. Immediately he picked up his phone. He said, please, I cannot come.
Okay. Hey, go, Dio.
He said, please, I cannot come. I need to take my wife somewhere. Let's do it another time. He ended the call. He now said, do I still want to go? I told him, no, I'm not going. He said, I'm sorry. I'm really tired. And I told him, I said, do you know, I told him, I said, do you know the problem I have with you? You sacrifice too much even when it's not convenient for you. You were tired. I understood that. I said, but do you have to sacrifice the fact that you are tired to please your work colleague? I said, I know it's your personality, but what you did, you used it to hurt me because you gave me an excuse I understood as your wife. But the person that called you now look as if you use charm to command you.
Seriously? Are you for real?
So immediately he apologized that no, it's not like that. He's sorry that he wasn't even thinking that he wasn't thinking. He just responded to what the request the guy made, and he has already cancelled it. If I'm ready for him to drive me down, I said, no, I'm fine. I'm not angry. He said, no, I should please. Long story short, he took me down. He took me down. I got it done and we came back home. And it ended there because, like I said, me and my husband, we've never had any argument or quarrel or fight since we got married. Because aside the God factor, my husband is more of a calmer version of me. So it's very hard. You know, when two opposite people marry, one is calm, one is harsh. And the other calm one is calm. It just makes things easier.
Okay.
So it has really helped us in so many ways that even normally things that maybe would have caused arguments or nothing or stuff like that, they don't, because we rather sit down, have conversations. Oh, how do you think we can get this done? How do you think I'll get this done? And my husband understands all my expression. Even when I say nothing is wrong, he knows something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
He'll just what is the problem? Even if he's not the one who made me angry, maybe I'm pissed at something over the phone, I have a conversation with someone, I'm angry, he will just tell me, what is the problem? If I say nothing, you say, but I know something is wrong, talk to me. And when I talk to him, have a way of calming me down, say, don't let anyone ruin your peace. If this person is stressing you, just stay away from them. So you need to understand the person you are with and understand their body language, be empathic towards them when they need that empathy, and don't make them feel, oh, I think your own is getting too much, your own is getting out of hand. No, that is not fair. In marriage, both parties need to make that conscious effort to make it work. And don't be the one who will take, either emotionally and every other way, and not even try to give to the other person. Because at some point, it becomes tiring. And you start questioning yourself. Am I being stupid? Am I a fool? Is this person taking me for granted? And stuff like that. So it takes a lot for it to get to that point. The reason it is very important that you nip it in the bud from the beginning, have the right conversations, and just keep working on your marriage and relationship, and you won't have issues. That's all from me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think Big Sugar said you're speaking his heart as well, so he kind of relates with what you're saying, which is good. It's both ways. Sometimes, we women would love to be pampered and all. So if your spouse doesn't know how to pamper you, hey, I don't know what to I don't know what to do. If you have excesses, you should know how to handle those excesses as well.
There is level to this pampering, because they say be careful with what you ask for.
Oh wow, okay. So, but I do understand. Thank you. It both ways, though. I hope the way he's pampering you, you're pampering him that way.
The funny thing is, I always ask my husband, I say, come, I'm the woman. Some things you are doing, I'm meant to be doing it to you, but you are the one doing it to me. Why? He will not tell me that.
Some men are soft like that, to be honest. But we shouldn't take
he will not tell me that there is no rule to who we act like that. I'll be like, oh my God.
Well, thank you so much. Have you gathered your thoughts here and there, maybe? Augusta. I can see you're laughing. Augusta, I hope you're still there.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you said you saw me laughing. I
Yeah, I
said, how
can
did
see
she see
your
me?
lol.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of things God said made us laugh, but I mean that's the reality, We need to be
Yeah.
empathetic towards one another. Yeah. So what's your take now? At least you've gathered your thoughts. Let's hear from you.
I'm not good in talking.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can share whatever. You
Want
can
to
share
try,
whatever.
please?
Yeah. Anyhow, can there be too much empathy in a marriage relationship? I don't know whether you want to answer the questions or you want to just at least, even if you're in every relationship, really, because if I'm friends with somebody, not even my husband now, and I'm always the one crying with them when they're going through that, and then when it's my turn, they're like, after we get over it, you're a big girl. There'll be problem in that relationship.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes in relationship. Really, it's needed. Let's even put love aside now. We're talking about this empathy, feeling what your friend is feeling, or being there, through whatever they're going through. Not that it's always one-sided. If it's one-sided, that friendship will not really last as such. And even if it lasts so long, it won't have quality as far as I'm concerned. So you have to, I mean, put in what it takes. This person is putting in, you try put in the effort as well so that you can have a lasting relationship. So Augusta, I don't know. I'm trying to help you juggle your mind.
No, I feel you. No, it's because for now, I don't even know how to put it because I'm passing a lot now in a
Okay.
relationship because I'm the one putting more, what's it called, effort and the
Empathy.
rest. So I don't even know if I'm the right person to say anything for now because
Thank you so much for the heart me, KMBV. Thank you so much. The thing is, look, even in our tough times, that's why I said, look, these things, we talk about it. Some people are going through non-empathetic
each
relationships.
time I talk about it, even now I'm feeling emotion. So,
Emotional. Yeah, it
um,
is quite emotional. And
yeah,
one of the key things I talked about is communication with your spouse. Maybe the way you communicate, they're not understanding you. They don't know your need in terms of this empathy we're talking about. So you may have to speak their language in order to be able to understand you. So I don't know what is happening as such, but if you feel you're the one putting it in and it's not too, I mean, it's not give and take, whatever situation, then maybe you have to sit with your spouse and talk about it. And sometimes some men, I know some men are macho men, they're not for emotion and things
yeah,
like
they
that.
just they don't understand. They feel maybe you're disturbing a lot. There's no issue there. You're just the one.
Oh,
You're making the movie by yourself. You know.
oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do understand, but there will always be a language this person would understand. So it will now be on you to find out how they understand you so you can speak that language that they do understand. And again, sometimes, like, you're two different people, even if you grew up in the same village and maybe the same person raised you, you're still two different characters. The way you
Yeah.
will need emotional support might not be the way they will need emotional support. And we all know that mostly men, they are not for this emotion thing. It's like,
No,
it's a
no.
waste of time. What are you talking about? So we take
Um,
the grace of God for you to have a man that is kind of soft, if you get
that
me. Not
understands you.
so maybe in a way you would have to understand them the way they are. Yeah, maybe they are the tough type. You have to understand their toughness and speak their toughness language for them to understand your softness. I don't know if I'm even making any sense to you right now.
Yeah,
The key thing is communication. You have to communicate with them. When is the best time you know that you will get their attention? You can start by saying that. And, I always tell clients to use the sandwich approach. The sandwich, you know what a sandwich is? You have bread, you have the
yeah,
filling, you have another bread. So you come with the bread. The bread will be, my dear husband. If I start with I love you, if you're the type that doesn't say I love you, you will say it 10 times this time around.
That time you say, this one that you're telling me I love you, what do you want?
I know. Before before he lands, it will smile. Now you will tell him all the good things you appreciate. You tell him how this, how that. You love his manliness or whatever. And then in the middle, you will now say, my dear, I need this. Can you maybe meet me halfway? You say whatever you want to say. And then finally the other bread is, you know what, I love you so much. And I know that you love me too, Baba. Just say good things. So say the nice things about him, put your own thoughts and feelings in between, and then seal it up with nice words as well. And you know what he likes? Maybe he's the type that likes when you pound yam or whatever, pound the yam. Make sure it's waiting in one corner. And by the time you have that talk, you can say, I have something special for you. And then maybe he'll start understanding your language. There's always a way to it. I'm not living with a spouse, so I wish I'm there to see and say, my dear Augusta, this is what he likes. This is how we would hear you or whatever it is. But you might have to study your spouse. You have to help him, help you, help both of you, if you get me. It's never easy because I know some, let me not say African men, that they're just so African in nature. All this feely, touchy, you're wasting
No
time.
romance.
Exactly. Romance, buy chocolate, buy flowers, say I love you. From which planet to what planet? Is like, what are you talking about? So I do understand. So you might have to really study him. At least you want his attention. You want him to hear your feelings and all of that. So you have to know the right time to kind of say to him. And I mean, you guys are in that relationship till Christ will come or till whatever. So the earlier you start, the better. I don't know. I don't know if I'm even helping at all, my dear sister.
No, you're ahead. Yeah, understood.
So it's always good. Just know that he's not that emotional type. So give him a bit of room as well to be himself, as well as you trying to express yourself. It takes two, really. So God will help you. I pray that God will help you touch his heart to see that softness that you really need to help you, feel whatever you need to feel. That's what I can say. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. He's dropping people off as they're joining. He's dropping them. I don't know what is going on with TikTok today. Let's hope
Maybe it's network.
I don't want to believe his network all the time.
TikTok can be very funny sometimes.
And these are my regular people, so I'm wondering. Sabita, I can see you. Thanks for joining. I don't understand this language. Kono Curbs, KMBV. What are you trying to say? Do you want to send an invite? Come up and share with us. We want to hear from you. We're talking today about marriage and empathy. When I was planning this thing, I said people would just leave the women to it. And I saw one of my regular, in fact, three of them actually. They were there when I was giving the talk, but I don't know why they've left now. And two of them were in the box and Dean has dropped them. Because I really want to hear from a man's perspective. Maybe we can understand better what they think about empathy or how we should relay empathy to them. I don't know. It would really be nice to hear from a man's perspective. Because when you say empathy, they say, is this women emotional talk again? Kind of a thing, But no, it's what humans feel for one another. So regardless of the gender, especially in a relationship, you're meant to feel empathy for one another. And another thing I personally have noticed over time, you may take advantage of each other and feel, because this person will always be there. It's like, taking each other for granted is a no-no. It shouldn't be. So even if you're 50 years in your marriage, you should still show that empathy towards your spouse. And that keeps things going. May Joy, you're welcome. I trust you are good. Thanks so much for joining this evening. Please, guys, as you're in the box, help me share this live. There's still enough time to talk and share experiences, and help one another, because this kind of talk, from where I come from, our men do not like, this kind of talk. They were like, for me, we'll leave you and your women to do this talk today. But no, I really want to hear from the men so that we can do better as well. It would help us. It would help us in the long run. Inch Bain, I can see you're there. I don't know if you're where you can speak, because I've sent an invite a couple of times, but just keeps dropping. Yeah. So, May Joy, how are you today? You're welcome. Thank you for the
Hi,
handmaid.
thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. You're
Oh,
welcome
West
to Insight today. How was your day?
was great, though. It was great.
Thank God for that. We'd love to hear from you. We're talking about marriage and empathy. On Thursdays, I always bring the marriage talk, different topics to it. So today we want to look at empathy, or we're looking at empathy in marriage. Some people, they've lost it because they feel, oh, you'll always be there, I will always be there. What's the big deal? Let's just live life and all of that. But these feelings, emotions, needing someone to hear you, needing someone to be there, to understand you, to see you, to cherish you. I mean, we all want that, don't we? Whether you're a man or a woman, we all want that in our relationship. So I don't know what your take is on the topic. Empathy, and the questions I asked is, can there be too much empathy in a marriage relationship? And also, what can you do when you feel taken advantage of for being empathetic? So you can either answer those questions or share whatever perspective you have for us.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. At least in my end here is evening, yeah.
Yeah,
Marriage is, when it comes to marriage, most times I'm a little bit skeptical now to talk about it.
or is there
You
a particular
understand?
reason?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's like a general thing, because you just feel you know so much about this thing. You try to make your own work out, and it didn't really come out the way it should be. And you just look at it. It's not, marriage is a very sweet thing. That's just the truth. I will always tell everybody.
Yeah,
For the fact that maybe you have a failed marriage does not mean that marriage is not a good thing, and does not mean that there are no good men out there. There are so many good men out there. That's this, by the way, though. But when you are talking about empathy in marriage, I think everybody needs attention. Both the man and the woman need an attention in marriage. You see, so when it's one-sided, it doesn't work out well.
yeah,
That's just the truth. It's like a is it a merry-go? No, not really a merry-go-round. There's this swing low, you know when
yeah,
it's yeah, when it's down, you discover that the other person will be falling, but when it balance, you discover that both parties on the swing, I don't know how they call that, on the swing, will be balanced. I think that's how marriage should be. It should be balanced. It should not be a one-sided thing.
yeah,
It should not
definitely.
be a one person thing, that one person is trying to let me give him attention, or let me give her attention, and now this other person is not getting it. So it doesn't work out that way. I think it's a 50-50 thing. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's a
50-50
50-50 thing.
makes 100, as long as we get 100.
As long as you get 100, that's just it. Because most times some people say, you seek attention too much. Even our kids need this thing.
Yeah.
There are times maybe you can be on the phone, like my boys were accusing me yesterday for, mommy, you spend so much time with so and so person on phone, and you don't spend time with us. You don't watch movies with us, you don't do this with us. I said no, but in my own little way, I try to give you the attention that is needed. Thanks for the mail. I try to give you the attention that is needed. But when I need to talk, it's business I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see how to grow up the business, so that you understand. If kids will need this, how much more your
Growing up.
husband? How
Yeah.
much more your wife? I don't know if you understand. So most time I don't think is what the mistake most of us do in this is that you come home, you don't drop your work at home, You don't drop every activity you do at work. You bring your work back to the house. And when you do that, it is very difficult to give either your wife or your husband the attention that is needed. If we can offload our jobs, keep them there, come back home like this married man, not a working class man. At this point, you spend the whole day in the office. So as you are coming home, it's just to give this woman, you stress, yes, but that little attention matters a lot. That little empathy. How was your day? How did you go? How are you feeling? Just try to know how each person is feeling. Just at least just to know. We can, like women, we can talk. A man can just go and come back. How was work today? Fine. You understand? But a woman wants to give you details of everything that happened. Only I went to the market, or somebody matched my leg. I bought okra and it was so expensive. We want to we just want to pour out the way it says inside of us. And once you don't get that attention, maybe you can even, it could be a female friend that could listen to you. You want to pour that to that person. I think that's where the third party thing now comes. And then when you open your mouth to like, no, please, I'm tired. You see that woman is broken. Okay, let's give an instance. You going to pick your kids from school, you coming back from school, and your son knows too well you're tired, but they want to tell you about everything that happened in school. Most times, you are so tired, but as a mother, you want to be disciplined. You just want to listen. My kid will say, Mommy, you are saying yes, you are not getting it. I say, I'm getting everything you're saying. But you are not getting that thing, but you just want to give that child attention. You understand? So I think this topic cannot be overemphasized. It's something that both the men need, the women need, and the kids also need it. And I think this is where the problem of the women now comes in. If a wife cannot give a man this attention and he finds it in the side chick, he's gone.
Well,
Because he feels, because he feels there's somebody out there that listens to me. And I don't know. Let me not talk much. I believe others have so.
you said it, it's both ways. Whether the man is asking for it or whether the woman is asking for it, I mean, it's what keeps that union going as well. It's not just about love. There's a whole lot that keeps marriage, of course, going. But these are one of the key things that sometimes we overlook, sometimes we take for granted, and sometimes you don't even feel, is there a need to be empathetic? Whatever you're going through, when you're clean your eyes and get over it. No. Oh my God. If I feel like crying, your shoulder should be the shoulder I'm coming to cry on.
You're
Whether
right. Not the pillow. Not the pillow.
No, I'm not married to the pillow, am I? So but you find out that even sometimes people who have been in marriage relationship for long, they tend to overlook these things. They tend to feel, is it necessary again after all, and all of that. But we need new wine in our marriages every single time, because maybe that love has stretched itself, is empathy that needs to take it to the next level, and then we don't have that empathy. So what happens to that relationship? Apart from understanding, loving, and all of those things, empathy goes a long way, because as a man, you will go through certain things. As a woman, you will go through certain things. Whatever you're going through, you should have each other to share that with. Don't shun your wife's emotion. Don't shun your husband's maybe even lack of emotion, whichever way. It has to be balanced. And if you're the type that your person is not really a touchy-feely type, they have their language. You have to find it such that with their language, you're speaking empathy as well. So thank you so much, Major. Thank you for that. Heartbeat 77, you are welcome. Good evening. Well, it's evening here. Good evening to you. I hope you're good.
I am. Thank you. I'm
He's
glad
a
to be on
man.
your show.
Thank you. We've been waiting for a man to come and give us perspective, men's perspective on this empathy talk we're talking about in a relationship. Thank you so
Finally.
finally, see, Augusta has been expecting you as well as Gold. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've had a wonderful day so far.
Sure, I have. Just that it's been tiring, but
I can
altogether it's
imagine.
been a great day.
Mm. In fact, I had to just quickly powder our face. This is my makeup since morning, but it's all good. I'm tired as well, but I just have to be here because it's always a date bringing this topic to talk about. And I'm also learning as well because I don't have all the answers, like I say. So we want to hear a man's perspective of marriage and empathy. One of the questions I asked is, can there be too much empathy in a marriage? And the second one is, what can you do when you feel taken advantage of for being empathetic? Yes, let's
Thank
hear.
you.
Thank you for joining
It,
us.
yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I think that hearing the contributions from all the people here, it leaves us with little or absolutely nothing more to say
Oh,
because I think that there has been so many views and very dynamic ones for that matter shared here this evening on this topic.
yeah.
I don't know if what I will say would make any difference, but let's see if I can share something in
Please.
addition to what has already been said.
Okay, thank you.
When it comes to marriage or relationship,
Mm,
obviously it is a thing for the mature because if we try to remain as youthful as we have or we were in the
mm,
past, it
mhm,
would undermine a lot of things in the marriage, and that ultimately will lead to the collapse
mm,
of the relationship.
yeah.
The point I'm trying to drive home this
Mm,
evening is the fact that we have different expectations and different responses to situations.
mhm,
And when it comes to this topic of empathy,
mm,
the dynamics are that we both have our expectations, which
yeah.
may not necessarily be on the same page.
Mm,
Let's take a look at a particular situation occurs. I'm strong enough to want to ignore it. Naturally, I expect that if I'm in a relationship with you, you should
mm,
equally ignore it. That is the problem we have most of the time, that we try to project ourselves to others and expect them that they would respond to things or react to things the same way we do.
absolutely
And
true.
therefore, we tend to either misappreciate
Mm,
or misunderstand them for not responding to the same situation the way we do.
mm,
So, if I had forgotten about your birthday and have not been able to say happy birthday to you, on the
mm,
contrary, maybe if you had done so to me, I would ignore it. But your response will be entirely different. And
mm,
when the response comes, I tend to be surprised and taken aback because I don't expect that you would respond to the situation in the same manner.
Okay.
Okay? So, all I'm trying to say is that we respond to things differently. But the
Yeah.
basic principle governing our relationships
Mm-hmm.
of every kind and at every level
Mm-hmm.
is the law of reciprocity. It is
Okay.
give and take. Once you give, in
Mm-hmm.
fact, that is the natural law that controls every relationship.
Okay. Well
Nothing
said.
continues unless it receives, unless
Mm.
it is fed with the same measure that it measures out.
Yeah.
So we tend to feel or think that
The screen.
whatever we give to others, it should be reciprocated. They should
Yeah.
do the same for us.
Mm.
And if that is not coming, we tend to feel disappointed and a vacuum is created in us, which ultimately may lead to the collapse of the relationship if not addressed.
Mm.
So, in conclusion, what I want to say is that I think that in the beginning stage of every relationship, men are
Yeah.
more empathetic in the sense that we look at our women, we approach you, we try to win you to ourselves.
Mm.
And in those moments where everything is rosy and there are no arguments, there are no discrepancies, there are no
Mm.
hurts and offenses, we tend to be very particular about how our women or our
Okay.
babies feel.
So
So we
what
take them
happens?
out
What
on a date,
happens?
and when we even run through porthole, we want to ask them, we want to ask them, oh, are you okay? I'm sorry about that. When we
Oh,
get to a restaurant, we, we want to know about what exactly you care for, and we want to know whether you enjoyed what we are all over trying to tell you every move, every breath you take, and try to satisfy you in every regard. But
mm.
somehow, you and I know that it dwindles over time. And that might be because of so many circumstances. And that is
Mm.
why I earlier on intimated that this thing is for the mature
Mm.
because there is the need to make heavy investment in your relationship and,
Yep.
and let it stay afloat.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's going to drown.
Mm.
And the thing is that very
Mm-hmm.
often we feel that we are disappointed and comes and we discuss possibility of the relationship. We look rather than trying to make effort to, as it were, salvage the dying relationship. So the couple must put in and each other know that people react to things differently and that
Mm.
their responses to things will not be the same like ours. So we shouldn't be surprised, neither should we try in any way to thrash what their responses are.
Mm. I can see his network is dwindling.
Yeah, the network is bad.
Are you still there, Heartbeat?
Yeah. A-
Heartbeat, are you still there?
And finally, yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can
Yeah, your
you
network is going
can
in
you
and
hear
out.
can you
We
hear
can
me?
we can hear you now, but I can see one bar there.
Oh,
Yeah, we are hearing you so far. We're picking
oh,
what you're
okay.
saying. Yeah,
I
so you
hope I'm
can go
able
on.
to articulate my point.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
yes.
Mm,
So I think that there is the need for us to be very much careful about how others feel in
mm,
a relationship we are with them, other
mm-hmm,
than trying to let them live their lives the way we do. And
mm,
once we are able to do that, then we certainly will create some leverage where there is some reciprocity, which will be given and taken, so that
mm,
each one receives equal measure as they pour out. And
mm,
also, to the other point that you raised,
mm-hmm,
yes, there is the probability that one spouse or partner may assume that it is the responsibility of the other partner to be empathetic with me, because in the relationship they prove to be more empathetic. And so, in that case, we tend to take advantage of them. We
mm,
tend to feel that they are the ones to show concern about how we feel. They are the ones to want to not hurt us, but be careful in all their dealings with us, just so that the relationship would work out satisfactorily for us. It is a
mm.
wrong way to look at things,
Yeah.
and we
Mm-hmm,
must guard against getting there. We must
yeah.
emphasize that there should be equality in terms of giving the same measure that you receive from your spouse. So,
Mm.
this is what I can say immediately. And as we advance, if I get any other idea, I may
Okay.
table it out as well. Thank you
Oh,
for the opportunity.
thank you. I think you're the first man, to elaborate more from a man's perspective, I take it. And I see that even our women in the boxes are, they concur to the things you have said. I see points, I see a lot. I think somebody made a comment there, something having to do with forgetting your spouse's birthday. It shouldn't be that bad. I don't think so. And then maybe I would ask you a question, Heartbeat. This one you'll be able to answer. I don't know if you're in a marriage relationship or a relationship. It doesn't even matter. But at least the way you spoke, it seems experience is somewhere there in there. Um, I don't know why is it that this care, love, you say you jump through hula hoop to find out how a day is, how she's doing and all of that. So why does it fizzle out when you now get into the marriage or into that relationship proper? I thought it's supposed to grow more and more. I don't know. I want to hear from a man's perspective. Why does that happen? Because it seems to be. I mean, I've been thinking whilst he was speaking, and I'm like, wow, this person said, that one said, but it should grow. It's just very rare occasions that it cannot grow, but it's like majorly this thing just goes down instead of going up? Is it that now you've wooed the woman, she's all yours, you don't have to make any effort anymore, or what exactly? Because I want to understand, please. Habits, I want you to please answer that. I don't know, I'm trying to bring you up. Black short, I don't know, it's just throwing you out for whatever reason, I don't know. So if you want to, please, if you have any response to that.
Okay, thank you for the question once again. Um, it's quite disturbing. In fact, just this evening, in my discussion with my own uncle, I told him one of the things that surprises me in life. And
Now
that is
I need you
how
to
love
oh,
turns hatred.
wow. Can you say that again, please?
How love
Oh, this network.
that amazes me. I don't know if I can be heard.
Yeah, it's kind of cutting in and out, but I really want to
It,
pick it because you're saying some key things there. Yeah.
yes, I'm saying that one of the things,
Oh. Mm.
it's a whole mystery that is very difficult for me to unravel.
Hmm. I had to laugh. You have to be intentional in everything, including relationships, of course. Thank you, Na, for saying that. Thank you. Heartbeat, your network is kind
How
of
two lovebirds end up becoming arch enemies that
minutes. I don't.
they don't want to see each other.
Oh, not again. Oh, thank you, Queen Ella. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Can I be heard?
Oh, unfortunately, it's kind of season more than we're hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I don't know if you're moving about. If you stay where you are, it seems full right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better now. I changed the network and I think
Oh,
this
okay.
one
Yeah.
is better.
Mm.
So the point I'm raising is that these are mysteries that are very difficult to understand. But I
Mm.
think that I can place my finger on what the culprit is in some cases. We
Okay.
have been told, and truly so, is the fact that familiarity breeds contempt.
Mm.
Sometimes, in fact, meeting me on this show for the very first time, meeting you for the very first time, it is very, very impossible that if you are well trained, you can go out of your way to sound insulting to one another. There
Mm.
is that respect. There
Yeah.
is that um, um, attention, and there is that care
Mm.
taken not to offend the other. But
Yeah.
the situation might change
Mm.
drastically when we find ourselves in a relationship, a permanent relationship, where we
Yeah.
become familiar with one another. I
Mm.
think that in most cases,
Yeah.
it is disappointed expectations and hurts that we never allow ourselves to be treated
Mm.
or we were unable to express to our spouses. That is
Mm.
how come we end up building upon it, and then with time, it tends to create a whole messy situation that
Mm.
consumes the relationship. So I can place it on this strong point that it
Mm.
is disappointed expectation and hurts that, as it were, dims the light and that
Okay.
quenches the fire in most relationships. And if care is not taken, ultimately it leads to a permanent or irreversible breakdown or damage of the relationship. I
Mm.
don't know if that answers your point, but
It
that is
does.
what I can see on top of my head.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know, somebody saying something. Wow. Thank you. That was profound heartbeat. May we not just take each other for granted, you know? Sometimes I'm in the UK. Sometimes when you go on shopping and stuff, especially those busy shopping mall, you'll see this older man, older women, or man and woman holding hands with their shopping on the other hand. And when I see that, I always pause to look. I said, look at them still holding hands. They're probably in their 80s. You know, these people, I mean, such people, I really love to bring them on this kind of show program and interview them, because I bet they've seen the ups and downs, the good, bad, ugly of, you know, of everything. This is echoing, or is it just my end? I don't know, guys. You would tell me, except maybe somebody just received a call. They might have to drop off and come back. Is there still echo? Can we still hear the echo?
No, I'm not hearing any echo
No.
yet.
Okay, so I won't take it as good. So when I see such couple, I'm like, wow. I bet if you ask them how long they've been together, they'll be mentioning years. You just have to go and sit down on a bench and rethink your own marriage, so to say. Queen Ella, don't go. Can you just say one or two things before you go, please? Because when you come back, I don't know if we'll still be here. We still have about, I will finish around 10:30, but we may not finish at 10:30, depending on how many people. Oh, maybe it's from your end. Okay, so you can drop and come back then. I get you now. Yeah, sometimes when you're in the box and somebody else calls you and you try to pick or not even pick, it brings about this echo. So you might have to come down or close the calling app altogether so that it doesn't echo. Thank you, Queen Ella, for the gifts and the tappings. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. You know, these things, I've pondered on it, like when we were courting. In fact, sometimes I used to tell my husband I enjoyed our courting date, our courtship days more than this. No, don't get me wrong. Because when I think about it, I'm like, he was so caring. He's not that he doesn't care anymore or whatever, but you know what I mean? That intensity, like, in fact, I remember times when I'll go visit him. I remember the times I even had to go on a bus to wherever I'm going. He will see me off to the bus stop. I say, okay, I'll see you off again. We'll come. Before I go, it will be dark. I say, hey, I'm in trouble when I get home, kind of a thing. You know, so all of those things, now that we're in each other's lives, like, where is the thing? I thought you should be growing. The same thing with me, don't get me wrong, it's both ways. So it's not just one party, but because I'm the one speaking and that's why I'm saying this. And then you tend to wonder, people who have shared with you, people, when you see husband and wife in their 40s still holding hands, that means, you know, the fire kept burning and all of that. Is it that they didn't experience issues of life, or what is it? But it has to be intentional, just like quite a number of us has, you know, said tonight. It has to be intentional. What we do to one another, how we treat one another. Gold was sharing that I know that I don't want my husband to use such words on me. I will not use such words. And if for anything she gets carried away and uses the word, she goes back to apologize. I mean, that is being intentional. That is being conscious of what you're doing to the next person. And I don't think this should die off, because as long as you're in that relationship, there is no how you will not show empathy. Even when you're angry with one another, when you're like, I don't want to talk to you, just get out, does not mean you withdraw empathy and all of that, or I don't know, but that's what I feel. It's still there somehow, even in our anger, in our being upset with one another, in the conflicting times and all of that, you know, that is needed, because it's one of the things that will draw us back to help us resolve that conflict. Okay, now I'm ready to hear you. What were you saying before? Because I just didn't understand. I want to understand so that we can put this thing behind us. So we have to be intentional. So thank you so much, Heartbeat, for attempting that question. We really appreciate it. Guys, you can see this topic is kind of getting heated. I've forgotten all about my puzzle. I'm still going to tell us. We still have time to attempt the puzzle, because I always bring puzzle on here to kind of mellow things down a bit. Guys, thank you so much for all the likes and gifts. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Queen Ella, you're back. I'm going to come to you, but let me tell us our puzzle for today. I brought it last week. Nobody got it. So if you're in the box and you know it, or you can type it in there, I will try and find us, whoever gets it. The puzzle is, what is Eve's favorite food? You know Adam and Eve in the Bible? Eve, the female, she had a very best meal she loves to eat. What was this food? Eve's favorite food. What is it? If you know it, tell us. If not, I will have to tell us today, because I'm not bringing it back next week. Last week, nobody got it. So hopefully today somebody will get it. What was Eve's favorite food? If you know it, tap it in there. If you're in the box, unmute and tell us, and you get the gift for today. So back to our talk. Somebody wants to Mayjoy. Mayjoy, you want to attempt?
Let me attempt.
Please try.
Was there a favorite food for Eve? I think if I want to attempt, okay.
Try.
Let me try.
The
Could it be
forbidden
fruit?
fruit. No.
Fruit.
No.
Apple.
It's not even
Apple.
fruit. You
It's
said
not fruit.
Mm-mm.
I said apple.
Apple is a fruit. I've given you the clue. That's the only clue I'm giving you guys. It is not fruit at all.
It's not fruit at all.
Not whether coconut, banana, no. Not apple, not orange. It's not fruit at all.
I think making out with Adam.
That's the favorite food.
Yeah.
As a food to eat. No. No, not at all.
But they
Well
did not
done.
say anything about food in the Bible.
It's there in the
Yes, it
Bible.
wasn't.
Eve ate the apple, it was forbidden.
I only know about the fruit. I don't know anything about food. Did they even eat?
Okay, guys, you guys are overthinking. We say this is a puzzle, and you know what puzzle is about. You're overthinking it. And even that food is in the Bible. You will read it in Genesis. I'm telling you. Digger John, thank you.
Wow.
Well done. Nice attempt, but no thanks.
That means we will start reading our Bibles.
Oh, you
I'm
see?
telling you. I'm telling you.
Unfortunately, I'll have to tell us this answer today because from last week, nobody got it. I'm not bringing it back next week.
Then
Except
tell us.
to promise. No, I'll tell us before we round up today. So I'll give time to think about it, but don't overthink. Do not overthink. Eve's favorite food. Honestly, if I say it, you say, oh, but it's there in the ribs, nakoko. Nakoko, thank you. That's the food. Ribs.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, ribs. Yeah, she loved ribs because she was made from the rib of so she loved ribs. Let's find a donut for you. Now, Coco, thank you so much. And where is the ice cream? Don't finish it all at once. You see? So
Ribs.
is ribs in the
ribs
Bible
food?
or not? Oh.
It is, but is it a food?
Yeah,
You saying it's,
I'm hearing it
ribs-
for the
is
first
ribs-
time.
Is ribs fruit? It's not fruits.
I'm asking
I
if
said
it's a
meat.
food.
Meat.
Do you not eat ribs? Those spare ribs, do you not eat it?
Ribs.
Huh.
Meat.
Maybe, now Coco loves ribs. So that's the answer. That's why I say it's a puzzle. When you're overthinking it, everybody can say apple, apple. No, it's not. Why would I say apple? That's too easy. Yeah, I see lamb ribs, rib chops, even all sort of ribs. Yeah, she loves
ribs.
salt and pepper ribs. Well, if you say salt and pepper, Digger John, you're funny. So thank you. I don't have to bring you back next week, and I didn't have to eat my donut myself. So thank you so much, Nakoko. God bless you for answering that. Eve's favorite food was ribs or spare ribs, and it's there. You know, I mean, what else would it be? When Apple put her in trouble, you think she'll still like Apple, guys? Come on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Miss Ma, should we add something to what this other man said? What was his name again?
Oh, I'm trying to listen now. Yeah, what he said, you want to add to it?
Yeah, let me just add a little to. Sorry, what he
Yeah,
said.
go ahead. I'm coming to you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Heartbeat 77, yeah?
Okay. What? Yes, Heartbeat 77 said. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
So if okay, so what I want to add to what he said is this attention thing, as in empathy thing in marriage, should be intentional. Like what somebody had already said, it should be intentional.
because you get to a point in marriage where naturally love fades. The only thing that sustains love, I tell so many people, I say love does not sustain marriage.
Yeah.
It
Not
gets to a
love
point
alone.
where
Love alone.
love alone does not sustain marriage. I think what really, really, one of the things that also sustains marriage when it looks as if love is failing is communication.
Yeah.
You understand? And it is from the communication that both of you understands yourself. You actually know how you're feeling. And at that point, both of you consciously, when you notice, then with my ex, when I noticed something is wrong, I could like, okay, let's sit out. Let's go out on a date. Let's just sit out together. Just leave the kid. You could just let two of us just sit out. You could take a stroll together. You just gisting and talking along the road. You're not having a conversation. Before you come back to the house, you discover that the people that left the house are not the same people that are coming back. Something has happened. Something has triggered. There is a change in the relationship. You've moved from one step of that relationship to another step at that point. So, and I believe it's like, most times I tell people, I say the way you study to pass your exams in school,
Yeah.
that is the effort you need to put for your marriage to work. It has to be conscious. You have to be conscious about it. So if you just leave it like that, it's an institution. A certificate was given to you before you embark into
Oh,
the.
you have to work it
Understand?
out.
So you have to work it. At this point, it's like when the Bible say, "Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." So the way you work out your salvation is the same way you work out your marriage.
Yeah, very
Is the
true.
same way you work out your marriage. When a lot- And when a lot of things are ignored, it cannot work out.
Yeah.
That's the truth. When a lot of things are ignored, it cannot work out. And like what I said earlier, when it is one-sided, it cannot work. It cannot work. So, and it has, the both parties has to come to an agreement. You see this marriage, it must work.
It has to.
What and what should we do to make sure this marriage works?
Yeah.
Then when the other party is saying, you know me, I don't have a problem. The problem is you. I don't have a problem, but the problem is there and he's not addressing it and he doesn't see it as if he has a problem. Then the marriage cannot work.
No. No.
It cannot work. So I think it has to be a conscious effort for both parties. You talk about it. Anything that is not working, discuss it. We are lacking this, so we are lacking this. So our kids are taking more of our attention. Oh, how do we do this? How do we do that? You understand? So I think
Yeah.
that's the little,
You add to it. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
You have to communicate it, whether it's palatable or not, whether it's nice, pleasant to the hearing or not. It is what it is. You know, it has to be two-sided. It can't be one-sided and it will work. And that's just the bottom line. Thank you so much for that addition. So I'm coming to Queen Ella. I don't know what your take is about this topic, but we'd love to hear from you. I trust you've had a wonderful day so far.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for the gift set.
Oh, you're welcome
And
as well.
just like the last speaker said, it has to be intentional. Sincerely, as we go day to day in life, we tend to understand something that not just marriage, but everything around life has to be intentional because even the God that we serve is intentional. So if you live life as it comes, you might not achieve what you're supposed to achieve in life. So, everybody has been talking about communication, and everybody has been talking about empathy on how to treat spouses when there's a quarrel or something. But in situations where both parties were not believers before marriage,
Doesn't
these
matter.
things, then I'm coming, the way a Christian will treat an issue will be different from somebody that doesn't believe in anything, that doesn't fear anything.
Yeah.
Because a person that doesn't fear anything might not have might not have a threshold for correction. That's the truth. Because somebody said something one day, and I picked something from it. The person said, if you are with a man that doesn't fear God, doesn't fear a fellow mentor, and doesn't fear a relative, you are you are like a person walking on a rope. You might fall off anytime.
That's true.
Because if a man doesn't fear God, he will not even consider how you are feeling. That's the truth. Because even the duties of a husband or a father at home, it's only a man that fears God that can do those things diligently. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So, the first step I would tell myself if I was younger or any younger sister is make sure you marry a man that fears God. I didn't say a man that goes to church.
Two
There are two,
different things.
there are two different things.
Very, very.
So if you see a brother in church and he's very kabashing and praying and doing all those things does not matter. The thing is this, we have to try all spirits. You understand? So if I was to speak to a younger self, I would like marry a man that fears God, first of all. And
Okay,
marry,
so.
yeah, marry a man, secondly, that is open to correction. Because there's this masculine thing in men that makes them, or I think it's the ego, that makes them see correction as nothing happened. It should be tolerated, especially in Africa, you know. You hear them say, I'm the man of this house, as if anybody is dragging it with them, you know. Many of them, you
Yeah.
hear them say those things. And at that point, it tends to always push quarrels down the carpet. And once things are not communicated well, like this, my auntie just said now, once
Yeah.
things are not communicated well, it tends to pile up.
Yeah.
It tends to pile up. And as day goes by, you begin to see that person in a different light, and you be like, why did I even come here in the first place? You know, things that used to make each other very, very happy to be around with and stuff, you tend to start to see them in a very different light. So, just like as everybody has been saying, I learned a lot from this last speaker now. She said it has to be intentional. Good. You have to find a way to speak to each other, to be able to listen. Because an effective communication is listening, not just listening to answer.
Active
Okay, you said it.
listening.
Yeah. So it has to be an active listening. Not just you said it like that. Okay, it's like this, like this. At the end of the day, there'll be so much tension. But when you listen and you're like, okay, yeah, is this what you mean? Okay, you know, after all said and done, the thing might be that's supposed to have taken like 5 hours to resolve. Will just be resolved under minutes because they were both active listeners. You understand? Then I will borrow something from what she said. The children frustration can bring another different part of, I don't know how to put it, but
That's another transition altogether.
once children begins to comes into marriage and is not properly managed, it can make it can make two lovers turn to enemy overnight.
Tell me
Because
about it.
yeah, sometimes you tend to see mothers trying to save their children, and he portrays the father in a bad light, and you tend to see father being frustrated because he's so exhausted from work, coming home, he's not having enough rest. You know, things like that begin to bring hitches here and there, and before you know, there are holes in the marriage, and it begins to leak. So, as mothers, I'll point this one to mothers more because we're the one that spends time more with the children. So I'll say, as mothers, we need to really find a way to make the men comfortable at home. Let the home not be a place full of tension. Okay, he's back from work. Maybe he had a very hectic day, and he's back from work, and the children are all over him. And it's good to have time with the kids, but let them be limited. As in, just let it be limited and managed well, and let the kids understand that, oh, dad is back and he needs to rest, stuff like that. So as we go on, we learn every day,
Oh, yes.
and it's always good to listen to people and apply their experience to your own marriage, so that you don't have to make the same mistake they made.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's what I'm going to conclude with. Always learn from people. Of course, the Spirit of God will bear you witness and know that this person is saying the right thing, and you begin to apply those things in your marriage, and things will work out well. So empathy can never be overemphasized in marriage.
Yeah.
So it is like the bedrock for every other thing, because if these persons were just two different people that came together to live as one, so from different background, from different entities, and they are together trying to blend in, it's going to be hard at first.
Yeah.
Just like a speaker said, he said the first 5 years of marriage is more like a trial error trial period, where you begin to learn and unlearn and relearn again. So the things you thought you knew, maybe they might not be valid anymore. So that's my take on this.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. In fact, that's the truth. That's just it. We keep learning and learning. If you think you've been together 100 years, by the 101, you will learn something new in that relationship. I'm telling you, it's a never-ending story, never-ending situation. But the most important thing is having each other and having that mindset that come what may, we have to make this thing work. So if you like, fight each other, you still come back and resolve things, whether you like it or not, because that is the goal. Don't ever forget that goal. Why you're in that marriage in the first place. Things will not always be roses. Marriage is not a bed of roses. I'm telling you, there are thorns in there. And if you don't learn to, what's the word, prune the thorn in there, it will shook the two of you. As my people say, we shook you and you will barely even see the roses anymore. That shouldn't be. So these things, it has to be deliberate. We have to talk about things. Sometimes it's not, some people don't like talking, and trying to make them talk is like you're trying to squeeze water from a rock, kind of a thing. But as long as you're in that relationship, even if you don't like to talk, you will have to talk at some point, because you're there. Like somebody said, it's 50-50, give and take. 50-50. It cannot be one person talking all the time. After a while, their talk will mean nothing to you because you refuse to talk. And after a while, your silence will mean nothing to them. So it has to be balanced. We talked about balance some weeks back. Heartbeat said some women do drag issues that will make a man wonder if he's no more the head of the union. Hey. I know. But then, you see why we keep learning is an institution to learn, to keep learning. We need a lot of wisdom in marriage. That's another bedrock key point. A lot of wisdom. The man that is the head of the home, he needs a lot of wisdom to deal with his woman. The woman too needs a lot to deal with the man. They need wisdom to deal with one another. And the fact that when you get married, no matter how old you are when you get married, you're still going to grow together. You're going to see things you never saw before. You will see new things, new goals, new aspiration, new achievement they want to achieve that you probably didn't even know they wanted to achieve before. So you can't know your spouse in totality as such. That's why we need to have this big open heart to be accommodative. Whatever season we'll find each other, still be there, still be empathetic, still, show whatever concern or whatever the support that is needed to every phase you go through individually and together. You have to just be there to show that empathy. Thank you so much. Now I'm coming to you, our winner for today.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
I feel like eating ribs now. Thank you.
Yes, so.
Good evening to you. You're welcome to Insights. Is it your first time?
No, we've met before, but I've not been. I think for about a week or two, something. Yeah, I've been busy.
Oh, okay. All right. You're welcome back. So I'd love to hear what your take is about this topic as well. Please feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody said most of the thing. I think about people being, intentional in a relationship. And I think sometimes it's also about the foundation that we start on. Like, you talk about commitment. We have to commit, we have to agree that we're going to walk this journey, come what may, we'll find a way through. Because, a marriage is like any journey, it's like you have kids, it's a journey. You go through different stages with them, from when they're babies, is a different stage. When they become teenagers and when they leave the home, you're still their mother, but you play different roles with them. You're still a parent. So a marriage is the same thing. As the person grows and develops, and as you change, even you have to get to know yourself at different stages in your relationship. So it's about being that open. I think being open to that you're gonna change, and come whatever change it is, you're gonna be committed to try and find a way through it. And somebody said about being open, and being honest and having that effective communication. I feel like sometimes we try to avoid conflict. And I think by trying to avoid conflict because you're afraid that, if you talk about something, it might get heated. So then you avoid it. But actually avoiding it just makes it worse because then people's emotions are still there. And there's no opportunity to kind of, yeah, exactly. There's no opportunity to kind of clarify what has happened if you don't let people talk about it. So it just get hidden under the carpet and it just grows and grows because in your own head, you might think, oh, they've done something against me, but that might not be it because you never had the conversation to kind of hear their side. So then you are pondering on it and it's growing and growing. And
All assumptions,
yeah,
which are always
exactly. And
negative.
we should never let that happen. Like my relationship, that's one thing we always have. We never make assumption. We always have this agreement that if we're not sure about something, we have to come and clarify with the other person. You ask a question. I think this is that what I'm thinking. Is that right? Can you And we ask and we have the discussion. And actually, it might sometimes be difficult to have those conversations, but in the end, you feel better for it because you've kind of feel more assured in yourself. Because when you're in your head about things, it's always negative. But when the person is able to you're able to have that conversation, the person can offer that reassurance that you need to clarify what the situation is, and then you feel better. So definitely, that's needed in a relationship, and also about being transparent. And I always say that, you have to seek to understand, to be understood, you have to seek that. You can't just always assume that somebody understands you or can see you or can hear, no matter how much you live with a person, even with our children sometimes, I say, yeah, exactly. You can never, no matter how much, you are with somebody, you can never. So you have to seek to understand, to be understood. And also putting yourself in that person's shoes. If my partner is, distracted or something, I always try and think, what? Maybe he's had a difficult time at work. Maybe this. I try to kind of offer myself reassurance, yes, rather than think negative. And then I'll be like, oh, I can see that you're being a bit distracted as I'm talking to you. What's going on? It'll be, oh, I'm just trying to do something. I'm like, okay, let's have this conversation later. You sort out what it is, and then let's have a conversation later. So I think, you kind of have to put those things. And also, I think, you have to find solutions and not problems, because I think sometimes when in a relationship you try to resolve conflict, some people have this intention to just pick problems rather than look for solutions, to look for blame. Yeah, that's not going to help. It's not going to help, because if I'm coming to you, let's sort out a situation, and you're then looking for problems or to blame me, that's not gonna lead anywhere. We're gonna come back to the same place, But actually, let's find a solution to move from this problem that everyone is feeling better and happy to move on. And I think sometimes also people have to give each other time to heal, because we're gonna offend each other. It's a bit like somebody always says, like the teeth and the tongue, they offend each other. They bite one another. You don't say, oh, okay, tongue, you leave now, 'cause I beat you, get out. You still have to function. So you sometimes have to give people time to heal, and sometimes you have to learn your partner's way of dealing with conflict. For someone like me, if I'm upset, I need time, because I know that if you don't give me that time for me to then cool down and process, it might get heated. But some people, they might feel like, oh, at that moment we need to sort it out. But that's not going to work, because I don't work that way. So actually, by you understanding that the other partner's way of maybe resolving things is different from you, it allows you to then kind of find a way that it works for both of you in the long term, So it's just about communication, really. It's just talking. You have to talk. And for spending time with one another. I also think about, in relationship, sometimes we're in the beginning, all the love bug and all that stuff,
All the
help,
butterflies
yeah,
in your tummy.
help us to move. But when it starts going away and the day-to-day mandate thing
Oh
settles
my
in,
God, don't get me started.
yes, we then struggle. But actually, what we should do is to find a routine, building a routine where you spend time with one another doing something that you both enjoy. It could be watching a movie, it could be just in bed making jokes, and sometimes just not even having gossip, but maybe just talking about something you watch on
I know.
TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And that helps you to bond and grow. But if you're
Oh,
just together
okay.
and just yeah, but if you're just together and you're just, um, just doing the day to day, going to work, coming back home, clean, cooking, and you're not spending time with each other, you're going to be strangers in the house.
Yes. Oh,
And
yes.
and you don't, yeah, who wants to be living with a stranger? So you have to grow. So you have to spend time, make intentional, spend time together. And I think that would naturally help you. And I think, like you were saying about the old couple, I'm like that. Like, I always want to see my partner when he's old. That's in my head, and because I have that, I want to
Oh.
see them when they're old. And I always tell them, I want to see you when you're old. I want to see you with your grey hair. I want to see you,
Oh. Let
yeah.
me make you laugh. Let me make you laugh. I sing, my husband sings. I don't know where this thing came up from. I said I just was picturing in my head one day we're in our 80s, and then there's this concert, and then they called us because they used to say husband and wife that sings kind of a thing, and then we go up with all the drums, and then we get to the stage, they give us mic, and then
Yeah.
we're supposed to start singing. I said, please wait, his teeth just fell, I need to put him back. You know? Sometimes I picture what would it look like? What would I look like
Yes.
together? I can't
Yes.
even. In fact, I tell you something. One thing I've noticed in my dreams, when I'm dreaming about maybe relationship stuff or whatever, it's always him in that dream.
That's it.
Never somebody else.
No.
So these things has to be intentional. I'm telling
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I don't
yes.
share with any other person. So come rain, come shine, we have to work it out.
That's
We
it.
have to work it out. With time, we would have to work it out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, I don't know if you're done because I cut in there. Sorry.
No. Yeah. I mean, apart from that, and also like sharing memories together. Sometimes it's good to just share memories about, maybe your wedding days, maybe when when the children were born.
If I post my wedding picture here, you people will laugh. I don't want you guys laughing. You will see my very long neck and this bony person. In fact, when I'm upset, I usually will go to that and I will laugh. I say, this is just upsetting me now. Look at so it kind of helps, really. I'm telling you. So
It does.
thank
It
you.
does. Yeah. So finish now.
All right, thank you so much. The one rounding us, of course, we're finishing in about 8 minutes, and the puzzle is gone. Spare ribs is gone. Thank you again, Nana, for answering that. So, Nana, I bet you at least you have an idea what we've been talking about. I don't know what angle you want to bring to it, any addition to it. So we'll still learn till the last minute on Inside. Nana, you're welcome.
Thank you, ladies. I realized you are all ladies, but I admire the.
We've been praying for men to come since. It's only
Oh,
heartbeat
no,
that is
it's then
heartbeating.
like I was passing through, then I heard the comment,
Oh.
and I was very impressed about you, ladies. Your
Oh,
commenting.
thank you. Thank
But
you.
one thing I would say is, marriage is from the way you ladies are talking. If you are talking sincerely, then you are
Yeah.
good women. Marriage has to
Oh,
come with.
thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Before someone marries, it's a long thing, and nobody wishes to marry and divorce. But some of your contributors are very intelligent contributions, and I appreciate that. I always say, keep it up, work with your husbands. Nobody is perfect, but
Yes.
when two are together, your children grows well, you have a happy
Yeah.
ending in life, and your children become happier. And to me, what I realize in marriage is when one is proud, arrogant, causes a lot of issues. But I've never heard your ladies making those comments. So that made me to stop and listen to you. So keep it up, ladies. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So we want to hear actually a man's perspective of empathy in a marriage relationship.
Well, I don't want to talk about myself, but I am
You
trained.
can speak generally. What's your take on it generally, or what should it
Well,
be?
it's the same thing. Like I said, I met your ladies speaking. They speak different from other ladies I know. So I
Yeah.
can't say about all men. It's
Okay.
the same as men. I was brought up very well that I have empathy. So if I tell
Okay.
you my relationship, what I've done, yeah, so I don't want to say much. Women have that. The few women that have spoken have this sort of sense and they want to build their marriage. Their husbands may not have the empathy. So it's something we are all here to learn. And it doesn't matter, man. It's the marriage. Your topic is what we have to look at, marriage. So a
Yeah.
woman can contribute, a man can contribute. So I don't want
Definitely.
to, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for dropping by. Ladies, well done. In fact, you deserve this. So we keep it simple and real here. You know, we share our real experiences because, I mean, I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's keeper. Like I said, I've been in marriage 25 and a half years. If I tell you it's a bed of roses, you know, guys, I'm lying to you. There's been ups, downs, different transitions, also even still happening. You know, I don't know what the future still holds, but we know that come rain, come shine, we're in this together. That's my story I told. Thank you so much. Me at 88 and him singing with me at 88. God sparing our lives. I really love to see that, you know, and that's why I love to take pictures, guys. I love to take pictures. I keep it. I said, because one day my grandchildren will come and say, this woman is just so old. I'll bring those pictures. Look at me now. I'll show them. Once upon a time, grandma used to be this lovely damsel, or don't even think about it, you know. And I'll show them, see, grandpa used to be like that and all of that. It's always good to, you know, even imagine moments in the future and things like that together, especially when you're having maybe conflicts in your today, in your here and now. You know, there's a lot of things we need to do for one another. Marriage is not a bed of roses, and I keep saying that. Put in the effort you want to see as well. 50-50, they say, let's contribute the same. I'm caring for you, I expect you will care for me. Because if it's one-sided, after a while, imagine the gap. It will be so like two people, in fact, you become roommates or housemates if care is not taken. So it takes a lot of effort, it requires a lot. Marriage is not for lily-livered men or women. Marriage is for mature man, mature woman. So if you know you're not ready, all it takes, hey, that's why we're doing this talk. In case you're listening and you're about to go into it or go into that relationship that will lead to marriage, these are things you need to talk about. These are things you need to look out for. Is this person I'm going into, apart from love, what else do they have? What else do they show? And you know, there's so many things to talk about when you're courting. Because I don't know, I mean, I've been out of the market for a long time. I don't know what couples talk about now these days when they're engaged. All the things, I don't know. Some are privileged to go for premarital counseling. Some are not privileged to, or some don't even want it. Whichever way, there are things to talk about. Share each other's views. Talk about it now. Hear them. Not that when you not get into marriage, not say, but we didn't talk about all these things, but now it is our reality and things are not going well. You don't want to enter into the marriage before you start addressing certain things or before you start talking about certain things. Empathy, let it be number one on your next chat with your sweetheart, you know. Talk about it. Bring dilemmas, scenarios. If this were to happen, what would you do? Just, you know, kind of talk about it, laugh about it, and prepare one another for this because it's really needed. Love alone can never sustain a marriage. And that's much I know I'm sharing with us today. So thank you to everyone who has contributed. I see you, Nanayo. Thank you so much. Coco, thank you for joining. May Joy, God bless you. Heartbeat, thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate everyone's contribution. And I hope this has been a blessing to people listening on the F5 page. I know you guys are there. Thank you for always listening in. And till I come your way again on Monday with a general topic, this time around, at least whether you're married or not, you can always participate in that. I hope you have a wonderful night rest. Enjoy the weekend. Self-care, people. Empathy, guys. Let's show empathy. And you know what? Show empathy to yourself. pat yourself on the back, hug yourself if possible. Show empathy to yourself as well, not just, to your spouse alone. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for your giftings, your sharing, your liking the live. Thank you so we took it to 10,000. 10.3. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate every one of you. Till I come your way Monday, 8 p.m. where we'll be talking about general talks, strategies to coping, because it has to do with our lives, I wish you well. Do have a lovely night rest. Goodbye. Thank you. May Joy, thank you. I see you're still clicking away. Thank you. Heartbeat, thank you so much.
Bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Okay, Johnny Bass. Next time. Okay. All right, no worries. Thank you. I wish you well. Have a lovely evening. Johnny Bass, I see you. Thank you.
Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world.
Thank you, guys. See you on Monday. God bless.